Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Trey here. This time we're gonna do an episode of Save Your Cash, episode 5? Yeah, and this time we'll be doing Battlefield 3, because I know people were probably... Because I got so much flack over the last episode that I was just like, wow, I have to do a Battlefield episode just to get people to shut the fuck up. Battlefield 3, probably one of my most favorite shooters of the year. And that people are already probably going, oh, so that's why he hates COD. No, I hate COD. Actually, I don't even hate COD. I love the series, but it just has to improve. And the people that think I do hate COD should probably go drown their head in a well, because they really have no intelligence whatsoever. On the other side of that, though, that's not really important, because we're here to do Save Your Cash, and basically the amateur review of Battlefield 3. And I do say amateur because, yeah, anyways, this time I will not edit music in the background. I was kind of listening to the old episode and I was like, what the shit? I can't hear anything in the background. What is this? What was I thinking? And yeah, I got yelled at and I was like, I don't care. But yeah, I won't put music in the background this time. So, Battlefield 3. We'll break it down into the same thing we did for COD. And this time we'll start with graphics. I mean, with Battlefield 3, that's a very obvious one to start on. I mean, come on, look at the game. It's a technological masterpiece. The thing looks nearly photorealistic. Maybe not so much on consoles, but definitely on PC. They're beautiful on both platforms. And yeah, what else can you say about Battlefield? The game is impressively it's not even impressive. It is just it's stunning. It's beautiful. It's an incredible piece of almost art in terms of how the graphics look. Like, if anybody actually tells me that that game looks bad, I will probably come to your home and beat you to... Well, no, I said I'd do that for COD, so no. But, yeah, there's nothing more to say about it. It's an impressively beautiful game, but... And this is a big but here. Yeah, not that way. And it's that even though the graphics do not make a game should be measured by gameplay. And does the game hold up in gameplay? Well, for the single player, it has the same problem as COD, and the single player is garbage. In fact, I would even say that Call of Duty single player is better than Battlefield's. Why? Because Battlefield is like, I don't know, it's boring. Battlefield single player is very boring. There isn't much to it. It's very short, and even though Call of Duty has a problem of it being short, it at least has the flair to go along with the single player. Granted, its single player isn't very good either, but it at least has a flair to it. Battlefield doesn't have any flair to it. The characters are kind of boring, just long, drawn-out turret sections, and a story that it just doesn't feel like the stakes are as high as Call of Duty, even though in Call of Duty the stakes were ridiculously high to the point that they had to make up a near bullshit story to support it. But that is beside the point. What to say besides that? The story. So yeah, it's very like I said, very short. The destructible environment is barely there in terms of single player. The guns, well, as always, it's Battlefield, and the guns and the sounds and how the weapons feel, they always feel great, so you can't really comment on that. But yeah, the single player, much like COD, it should be overlooked. It might as well not even be there. But really, who bought that game for the single player? If you did, you deserve a slap upside the head there, good sir. The game was bought mostly for multiplayer. Like, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that someone bought that game for single player, because if so, I'm gonna have to slap you left and right and center. I'm not kidding. I would probably beat you. But other than that, yes, I did just fall off there. Anyways, the multiplayer. This is the main meat of the game. It's the bread and butter of the game. The multiplayer for Battlefield is like red versus blue for Rooster Teeth. It's the bread and butter. That's what they're known for. That's what Battlefield is known for. They're known for an incredible, amazing, authentic, and I do say authentic and not realistic. Here's the thing. Battlefield had been selling this point that they had an incredibly realistic gameplay. And people that bought that should know by now that that's not true. And I think people that beforehand we already knew that would not be true. It was more about authenticity, very almost real to life visuals, very authentic sounds. The sound is just absolutely incredible. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest driving factors for Battlefield, is the fact that it sounds amazing. I'm saying a lot, aren't I? Anyways. But in terms of realism, I would not say Battlefield is very realistic. And people are like, what? You can't say that! Well, yes, I can. It's my video, and I just did. But, God, I keep saying it. Battlefield is not realistic. It is more about authenticity. It is about trying to drive home that, to make you feel like a soldier. It's about the immersion. Like, Arma 2, that is an almost... It is an absurdly realistic shooter, almost to the point that I would not call it a shooter anymore. It's a military simulation. That's how, like, you will be doing... I guess it depends on how you're playing the game, but depending on what you're doing, you'll be doing very little shooting. It depends on where you are and what you're doing. And when you do get to the shooting, it's almost like, holy crap, you have to be on your toes. And that's why I think Arma excels over Battlefield in terms of realism any day. But my opinion on which one is better does not matter, because they really cannot be compared to each other. You're comparing a military simulation to Battlefield, and that's not the point of the game, or not the point of the review anyway. So moving on. Every time I say I just kind of catch myself, and it's like, what are you doing? Okay, so, but yeah, my opinion on the multiplayer has not changed since my review of Battlefield Bad Company 2. It's just good, guys. It's just a stellar. The squad work is even better, although in some points it feels like it does need some patching, because there were a few times when I was playing with my friend, and all of a sudden, even though we went in as a group, he would end up on the enemy team. What the hell, eBerry? I don't even know what the shit is going on there. Why? So therefore I was shooting my friend for a little while there, and he was eagerly and gleefully blowing me up with a tank, and, well, the next time I saw him, I felt like yelling at him and calling him a dick. So thank you, Battlefield, for ruining our friendship. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding. But no, seriously, tanks do ruin your friendship. No, I'm kidding. But other than that, besides that small little kink, the multiplayer is just as good as it was before. The maps are probably even larger than they were in Battlefield Bad Company 2, which is a very good thing indeed. Also, like I said, the guns, oh my gosh, the guns are so amazing. I get all drool mouthed over the guns. And, god damn it, Trey. Think of a different word. Can you just, like, smack your lips some more? Jesus. That's what's replacing it. Anyways, but that's beside the point. But yeah, the multiplayer is second to none in terms of gameplay. I mean, you'll be running along with a squad and you'll feel like you're part of an actual huge battle. The multiplayer, the maps, the vehicles, everything about the multiplayer excels. And everything it tries to do, it excels. I want you to understand this. Every single goddamn forsaken thing that multiplayer sets out to do, it excels at. The multiplayer, amazing. The squad play, amazing. The guns, amazing. The sound, amazing. The visuals, amazing. No one can argue that that there was not a lot of money being put into this game. There is obviously clearly like millions and millions of dollars being put into this game, and everyone can see why. It was EA's attempt to knock Call of Duty off the throne in terms of retail sales, or just sales in general. And they did succeed for a certain part. All you have to do is go on a YouTube video just to see how much people are yelling at each other, and really it's retarded. Either people can like whichever game they want, but, you know, fanboys will be fanboys. But besides that, there's one last thing we have to talk about, and everybody was probably thinking, oh, he's just drooling over his mouth for Battlefield 3, and really, I'm not. The co-op, however, is the one last thing we have left to talk about, and the co-op, it can be fun, but co-op is always going to be fun. You stick a game like, let's face it. When's the last time somebody played co-op and it wasn't fun for them? Co-op is always going to be fun, mainly just because you have that extra person there to kind of amplify the entertainment, I guess. However, the co-op missions themselves, from what I've seen, there are only 6 of them, or close to that number, 6 or 5. And most of them are kind of uninspired, I have to say. It's something you would normally do in, I don't know, it just seems like a kind of an uninspired grab at Spec Ops, and it kind of is. And Spec Ops in Modern Warfare 3, which I forgot to mention, was also very uninspired. It was much more boring than Modern Warfare 2, which had a very interesting Spec Ops and was very entertaining. But other than that, Battlefield 3's co-op, I guess we can call it, is uninspired, I have to say. It doesn't mean it's not fun, it just seems that there should be more missions and there should be some more creativity behind them. It's basically like, ooh, fly a helicopter one mission, ooh, play like hold your own mission, I guess I could say. It was kind of like Gears of War 3 defense horde mode mission, and then some other mission will be like sneaking around, and some other mission will be sniping, and it's uninspired, but there aren't that many there. So just keep that in mind. Yeah. So if I really had to say whether this game was worth your cash or not, I would obviously say it's definitely worth your cash. It's just there's kind of a steep learning curve there too, which I feel has driven some players away, and well, you know, fanboys will be fanboys. But so there is always that to think about. There is a learning curve, and it was kind of tough. I used to be very good at Battlefield Bad Company 2, but the second I picked up Battlefield 3, I did have to go through a learning curve again. It was hard to get back into the swing of things. Granted, it wasn't that long, but it was kind of a steep little cliff, and the bottom of the cliff was filled with razor blades. But you know, it wasn't that long. Although it can be incredibly frustrating, which is probably the grand deal behind it. If you're having to go through a learning curve and you paid $60 for a game, that game you're playing should at least be fun. And that's the huge question. Did you have fun? And well, I can only speak from my personal experience. And is this game fun? Yes, this game is definitely fun. I pick it up, I play it nearly, I don't know, I'll pick it up, play it with some friends. It's probably one of the greatest multiplayer games I've ever played in a very long time. The amount of enjoyment I have soaked out of it is just incredible. There is nothing more entertaining than having 0 tickets left, and all of a sudden your squad will run to the enemy base, plant both MCOMs, and still get the win for the round. There is nothing will get your adrenaline pumping more in terms of gaming adrenaline. I know. So there are some incredible moments there. Although the community is sometimes just as dickish as Call of Duty's. If you've seen how many snipers there are, it's kind of absurd at some points. But at the end of the day, the huge question was, is it fun? And yes, guys, this game is definitely fun. I would definitely say it's worth your cash, but it was fun for me. And if you're into the whole, like, realism or authenticity with the slow gameplay, I can't even talk. Slow gameplay, but it amps up to an absurd level. So, I would definitely say, yes, guys, this game is worth your cash. Just be aware that there is a learning curve and you might not be ready for it. But other than that, it's a great game. Do not let it drive you away. Do not let anyone else drive you away. The fanboy wars are just absurd. Do not let anyone else tell you what game you can and cannot enjoy just because they themselves do not like it. It is your $60 at the end of the month, and for me, this was definitely worth my $60. I have had much more enjoyment out of it than I have had with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And I know what you're thinking. Oh God, he can't say that. He's trashing on Call of Duty, but you know, let's face it, you can't talk about Battlefield 3 without talking about Modern Warfare 3. The amount of just rage and competition going on between the two games is absurd. So just keep that in mind, guys. Battlefield 3 is definitely worth your cash. I would highly recommend it. Just be aware that there's that learning curve, as I mentioned before. As I've mentioned for the last, like, 15 times. And hopefully, with the next Battlefield 4, Battlefield Bad Company 3, or whatever the shit we expect to see soon, hopefully we'll see a much more improved single player, because to be honest, the one single player we have right now is garbage. and hopefully we get some more inspired co-op. But other than that, guys, this has been Crazed, and Modern Warfare 3 was worth my cash, and I hope will be worth yours. And by the way, I built a tower. If people were complaining, you just ran around placing torches in your last video, I was like, well, now I'm building a tower of towers, towering tower of towers. So suck it up. It's beautiful, kind of. It has no windows and no floor, but oh well. Other than that, I bid you adieu. Call of Duty, worth your cash once the price goes down. Battlefield 3, worth your cash now. See you later, guys. And this has been Craze, signing out, and I'll see you next time. See you.